evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kim Calvert, Vice President of Marketing Events at the Regional Chamber, and it is truly my privilege to welcome you to the 26th Annual ATHENA Award Dinner. Tonight, we honor 21 nominees, women who strive toward the highest levels of professional accomplishment. Women who excel in their chosen career, have devoted time, energy, and leadership to their community, and who serve as exceptional role models, inspiring and assisting others to achieve excellence. Tonight, we celebrate women who embody Athena, the dynamic goddess of Greek mythology, known for her strength, courage, and wisdom. Our nominees are a powerful group with a tremendous ability to impact whatever issues they choose to address and to effect change, and their work and dedication touch thousands across our entire valley. Our nominees represent a diverse group comprising public and private companies, nonprofit organizations, the financial, education, and healthcare sectors, manufacturers, and more. Whether you know our nominees and the work that they have accomplished, or will be learning about them for the first time tonight, I promise that you will be wowed and overwhelmed by their individual and collective achievements, as well as their passion for helping others. And speaking of being wowed, how fortunate are we to have Dr. Marla Perez-Davis, Deputy Director at the NASA Glenn Research Center, joining us to keynote this evening. NASA Glenn is one of 10 NASA facilities across the country that works to advance NASA's missions in aeronautics and space exploration. But what's even more cool about this particular facility, which employs more than 3,000 scientists, engineers, technicians, and administrative and support personnel, is that it is led by 3 women: Director Dr. Janet Cavandi, Dr. Perez-Davis, and Associate Director Janet Watkins. We welcome you, Dr. Perez-Davis, and are very much looking forward to your remarks a little later in our program as you share your insight and experience. Each year, I look for a few fun facts or interesting facts that are relevant to our evening. And relative to women in NASA, there were 3 that I found to be of interest. The first is that NASA has sent 50 women into space, starting with the first, Sally Ride, in 1983. A woman by the name of Eileen Marie Galloway was part of NASA's creation and helped write the National Aeronautics and Space Act that was signed by President Eisenhower in 1958. And this one was kind of cool. On the heels of the success of the movie Hidden Figures in early 2017, about a team of female African-American mathematicians who served a vital role in NASA in launching John Glenn into orbit, LEGO introduced its Women of NASA set of 4 of its astronauts and scientists. The LEGO set sold out on Amazon in just 24 hours, the first day it was on the market this past November. So very, very cool stuff. Allow me to begin our evening with special introductions. Seated at our head table from your left to right are James Dignan, President and CEO of the Regional Chamber, Dr. Marla Perez-Davis, Deputy Director of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration's John H. Glenn Research Center, and our keynote speaker this evening. Bill Shivers, President, Canton-Mahoning Valley Region, Huntington Bank, our ATHENA Award Dinner event sponsor. I think I've got you guys switched. I apologize. Pat Sweeney is in the middle there. I told you, I knew we had something switched up here. Pat Sweeney, Health Commissioner, Mahoning County District Board of Health, and our 2017 ATHENA Award recipient. Dr. Betty Jo Licata, Dean of the Williamson College of Business Administration and longtime chair of our ATHENA Committee. Sherry Harrell, President of the Community Foundation of the Mahoning Valley, which oversees our ATHENA Scholarship Fund. Erin Maloney, Sales Manager for Key Accounts at Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield, founder of the Anthem Scholarship. And Nina Perkins, Community Events Manager for the Vindicator and Vindy.com, co-presenter of the ATHENA Award program. The Athena Award dinner would not be possible, of course, without the support of our co-presenter, The Vindicator and Vindy.com. For 24 years, The Vindicator has partnered with a regional chamber to present this event. There are never enough words to express our gratitude for their constant and generous support of this program, especially the extensive Athena promotional efforts that reach more than 250,000 readers. We would like to thank Betty Brown Jagnow, The Vindicator's publisher, General Manager Mark Brown, Nina Perkins, and the entire team for their dedication in making this evening so special and one that each of our nominees and their families will treasure. Please welcome this evening from The Vindicator, Nina Perkins, Community Events Manager.
Thank you, Kim. And good evening. Welcome to the 26th Annual Athena Awards Dinner. And as Kim noted, I am Nina Perkins, and I am the Community Events Manager of The Vindicator. And as she mentioned before, the support and sponsorship of this magnificent program goes back 24 years, almost to the very beginning. And I have to thank our publisher, our publisher, Betty Brown Jagnow, and our general manager, Mark Brown, because they saw back then the need and worth of such a program. And from that point on, the commitment from The Vindicator gave such a great ongoing relationship with the Chamber, and this is why we celebrate every year and have such a wonderful program, thanks to the Chamber and thanks to all of you also in the community. And tonight, once again, congratulations to our honorees, and we look forward to many more years of paying tribute to our deserving local women. Thank you.
Thank you again, Nina, and to The Vindicator for your partnership of the Athena program tonight and for so many years. Well, our dinner sponsor, Huntington Bank, has been a great friend to the Chamber over the years, sponsoring many of our events. But tonight, they are coming to this particular event with a pretty direct and awesome connection to it. For Bill Shivers just happens to be on the Athena International's Board of Directors. Keep in mind, the International is based in Chicago. And the organization over the years has always sent newsletters, and every time I receive one, I always look through them to see what's going on. And one day, I think it was last year, I was skimming through their list of the board, which I believe has always historically been all female, of course, and there it was, Bill Shivers, Huntington Bank. So I, of course, am curious about how Bill came to be on that board. I don't think he's the only male on that board today, but when I saw it, he certainly was. So please welcome to tell us more about his appointment to the board and what it means to him, as well as Huntington's support of the Athena program, Mr. Bill Shivers.
Thank you. Good evening. I feel bad for Dr. Licata and Mrs. Sweeney you noticed I sat a little bit back. Really not a lot of room up here, but on behalf of Huntington and my fellow colleagues, we are truly honored to serve as a sponsor for the prestigious Athena Awards of the Mahoning Valley. Special thanks to one of our colleagues, Christine Gerst, who has served as a local Athena committee for more than 17 years. I'd like to congratulate this year's scholarship awardees who serve as our emerging leaders and wish you well as you continue your education. Congratulations to all of the Athena Award nominees. What a special evening for you and for all of us as we celebrate all of your many accomplishments. Congratulations. I chose to get involved with the Athena International as a member of the Board of Directors based on its mission to support, develop, and honor women leaders and those who inspire them to reach their full potential by offering unique and impactful leadership development and awards. In addition to Athena's mission that attracted me to the board, I grew up with a loving, inspirational, and strong mother and 4 sisters, along with 6 brothers. I have a wonderfully supportive wife, Lori, 3 daughters, and a granddaughter. So I'm invested. I think that you need to give people a chance. I think that's the key, and I hope that's what everybody sees that key tonight. And my profession in the financial services, I have the opportunity to work with a lot of women, so it's a great situation. I'm an advocate for encouraging women to achieve the highest levels of professional accomplishments in their career, engagement in the community, and mentoring others along the way. Thank you for the important work that the ATHENA Award nominees and past recipients have contributed for the betterment of our community, our workforce, and as a region as a whole. Congratulations to all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bill. We appreciate your sponsorship of the evening, and after 26 years of the program, it's wonderful that we have connection right directly to the board of the Athena International, so thank you again. Additionally, the Vindicator and Huntington join the Chamber in expressing our gratitude to all of our 2018 Athena sponsors. Please hold your applause. Our diamond sponsors, Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and Ohio Living, Park Vista, Lake Vista, Home Health and Hospice, and the Foundation, our corporate sponsor, Key Bank, and our patron sponsors, Lee and Bonnie Boardman, Chemical Bank, and Courtyard Marriott, Canfield, and Kensington Golf Club and Grill. Can we please have a round of applause for our sponsors? I would also like to spotlight a very impressive group of women, the members of the 2018 Athena Award Committee, who helped to make this evening a success. The group includes past recipients and nominees, sponsors, and overall influential women in our community. They are such a passionate and dedicated group, led by our exceptional committee chair, Dr. Betty Jo Licata. For the sake of time, I will not read the committee members' names, but they are listed on the programs. Ladies, would you please stand while we give you a round of applause for your efforts in making tonight possible? We also wouldn't be celebrating this event without the help of our wonderful team at the Regional Chamber. From the creation of the nomination forms, invitations, and programs to the reservation process, seating, production, decor, and menu, it really does take a village. A special thank you to my team, Mary Beth Wyko, Sherry Metzinger, and Leslie Davis for your hard work and vision. And to the Chamber's President and CEO, James Dignan, our Board Chairman, Ted Schmidt, and the entire board, thank you for your support of this program and all the wonderful women we honor each year. Well, on May 18th of 2017, Patricia Sweeney, Health Commissioner for the Mahoning County District Board of Health, was standing right here at the close of the evening after being named our Athena Award recipient. And as she's about to tell you, that night and the past year have been quite an experience. Please welcome Patricia as she shares her thoughts on the honor and words of wisdom for our nominees and offers our invocation before dinner.
Thank you so much, Kim. First, I want to thank the Regional Chamber and the Vindicator for making the Athena program a reality in this community and for making it a premier event in the Valley every year. Your commitment to honoring professional women in the Valley for now 26 years is truly to be commended. I also want to say thank you to the evening sponsors because this is really a lovely event. Look at these tablecloths. I've never seen anything so lovely. This is truly a lovely event and one that I've attended many times over the years and always enjoy. The sponsors' support makes the evening even more elegant. I've been asked to share a few reflections on the year that has passed since receiving the Athena Award in 2017. First of all, I have to say, was that really a year ago? Where did that go? I guess the adage of time flies when you're having fun is true because I really have had a wonderful year. When I received the Athena Award last year, I was truly humbled. I was shaking and just couldn't believe I was standing here. I was humbled to be honored for doing work that I love in a place that I love. This has been my lifelong home. But in the ensuing days and weeks, I became even more humbled by the community recognition that the award engenders. The Athena reach is far and wide. So many in the community reached out to me to offer their congratulations. But if you were here last year, you may remember me sharing with the folks that were present that night that anything I had achieved in my personal or professional life was the direct result of the people and the women in particular that came before us, in particular came before me. The women that fought for the right for women to be educated, to vote, to own property, to control their own reproductive choices. Their struggles set the stage for women to be here today and for all of us to achieve. And for that, I am particularly grateful. I also spoke that night of my luck at being part of amazing teams. Teams that together achieve more than any one person can alone. As an ATHENA Award recipient, I was blessed to join a new team. A team of women that support this community through their daily efforts and support one another through their daily work and support one another in the next generation of women leaders by creating opportunities for networking and sharing their professional experiences. That's what these women do with one another every day. And a team committed to paying it forward by mentoring and ensuring that we not only keep doors open for future women, but that we open new doors as well. Tonight, I applaud this amazing group of ATHENA nominees, and I am also pleased to be here celebrating each of their great accomplishments. I am also very excited to honor this year's ATHENA awardee and look forward to welcoming her into the ATHENA team. I wish the best of luck to each and every nominee. You are really winners already. So here's my word of advice for the evening. Try to relax, have fun, take it all in. Take a look around, take it all in, and enjoy this beautiful evening.
Earlier, Kim thanked her staff and mentioned what a great job they do in putting our ATHENA program together. But I would also like to thank Kim Calvert. She has been our lead champion for this program for the last several years, and I'd like to ask you to join me in a round of applause for Kim and all of her work. The inspiration for the ATHENA Award originated in Lansing, Michigan in 1980. It was there that Martha Mayhood Mertz, while serving on the Chamber Board, realized that the award programs recognizing working women were few and far between. At that point in time, she mobilized the community and rounded up sponsors, and the first ATHENA Award was presented in 1982. Since that time, more than 6,000 individuals in 600 communities around the world have received the ATHENA Award. The ATHENA Award is presented not only in the United States, but in Canada, Russia, China, and the United Kingdom. The ATHENA Award was first presented here in the Mahoning Valley in 1990. Dorothy Perrin, who was the president of the Youngstown Business and Professional Women's Club in the 80s, attended a convention of the club in Charlotte and found out more about the ATHENA program when she noticed the sculpture that was on display. And if you notice, the ATHENA symbol is on your program. It's represented on the pin that's presented to our recipient and also on the beautiful sculpture up here, which, depending on who's doing the introduction, they sometimes call it a trophy, but we call it a sculpture. Dorothy knew the program would be a great one for the Mahoning Valley, honoring the professional women in our region. She secured Oldsmobile as the sponsor of that first award and partnered with the Chamber to present the first event. And here we are 26 years later. Dorothy was unable to be with us this evening, but please join me in a round of applause for the woman who made this possible for the Mahoning Valley. After the 1991 ATHENA Award was presented in our valley, the program went into hiatus with the merger of the Youngstown, Niles, and Warren Chambers. In 1995, the ATHENA was reinvented, and the Regional Chamber and the Vindicator joined forces as co-presenters, and we're very proud to continue that tradition. You may also be interested to know that our Mahoning Valley ATHENA Award is one of the largest ATHENA Award dinners in the country. We're typically in the top 5 across the country for attendees at our dinner, and this evening we welcome almost 500 of you here this evening. The ATHENA program provides an incredible resource for our past nominees and recipients. It creates a strong and valuable network for professional women in our community. And tonight we have several past ATHENA Award recipients with us. I'd like to introduce each of them, but ask you to please hold your applause until they've all been introduced. You've already met at our head table Pat Sweeney, last year's ATHENA recipient. Also with us this evening, you're supposed to stand. Jeannie Abel, our 2015 recipient. Kathy Cook, our 2016 recipient. Attorney Marty Bushy, our 2011 recipient. Attorney Shauna Latalian, 2010. Karen Cohen, 2008. Sister Patricia McNicholas, 2005. And our first Athena recipient from 1990, Helen Pays. Please join me in congratulating all these women. Choosing each year's recipient is always a difficult decision for the committee, and for the selection committee, I would just like to go on record as saying I'm not part of that selection committee. We have a different Athena committee that does that. Because this is always an evening where we're all humbled at the incredible accomplishments of the women in our community, and I'm sure throughout the evening you will sit there and say, I never knew that kind of work went on in our community. I never knew all of the work these people did and the many contributions they made. So we're always proud this evening that we're able to share with you brief bios of our nominees so you have a better understanding of the incredible contributions that all of these women make to the Mahoning Valley. In a short while, you'll hear a brief bio on each of our nominees. But this year, we again decided to capture a bit of additional insight from our nominees via video. So throughout the evening, you'll be seeing different video snippets of women reflecting on their experiences and their advice for other professional women. We'll show you their answers. So if you would please direct your attention to the screen, we'll see our first segment from our nominees.
My first job was when I was 15 years old, couldn't drive, and I worked in a small mom and pop pizza shop. My job there was to sort of do everything. So I'd slice the meats and put the dough out on the pans and flute them and make the pizzas and take the orders, box them, and get people out the door. And because I didn't drive, I'd work sometimes till 1 in the morning and my dad would come and pick me up. So I always made him a pizza as sort of a thanks, Dad.
My first job was a lifeguard. I actually took the water safety test when I was 15. I didn't turn 16 till November. And I was hired at a private lake, which had a fun set of challenges, but the biggest was the guests were allowed to drink. So I spent my days trying to rescue people who forgot how to swim.
In high school, I think I was 14 or 15 or 16. All my girlfriends and I, we would load into her dad's truck and he would drive us out. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning and he would drive us out to Pennsylvania. He ran logistics for a trucking company that shipped clothing. And us girls would all go and we would work the factory line. So I would punch in, I would have an 8-hour day, 10-minute break in the morning, lunch, 10-minute in the afternoon, and my job on the factory line was to tag clothes for American Eagle. So I had the price tag gun, and that's what I did for my first job.
My first job was selling steel. Our family business had just opened Ohio Steel Sheet and Plate, and I used to drive from after high school to Hubbard every day, and I was given a stack of Thomas registry books, and I used to have to sit there and make cold calls. And my father had me stay an hour after everybody left to call on Chicago. And what I didn't know at the time was that Chicago was out of our freight rate, so it would be impossible to actually land a sale. But I actually did. I called and called and called on one company in particular that finally had pity on me and gave me an order, and I was so proud of myself.
When I was 12 years old, I lived near a golf course, and I would oftentimes take a trip over to the golf course, grab a candy bar, a little snack from the snack bar. One day, as I was grabbing my daily snack, I overheard 2 men talking. They were talking about a neighbor down the street who invented golf clubs and about the fact that golf balls were part of a multi-million-dollar business. So as I'm leaving, it dawned on me that there was like millions of dollars upon this golf course, all these white balls everywhere. So I went around and I started collecting these white balls from the greens of the golf course. I took them home, I washed them, brought them back to the golf course, and I sold them to golfers.
My first job was at the age of 12. I babysat 2 families in our neighborhood. One family had 2 little girls, and I babysat those 2 little girls on a Saturday morning while their mother went to the beauty shop to get their hair done. Then I babysat 2 little boys in the neighborhood, and in addition to those 2 little boys, there was a big Labrador Retriever that was part of my responsibilities. So when the little guys were tucked in bed fast asleep, then I had Dan, the dog, as my buddy who kept me safe. And my salary, if you want to call it that, back in the day was 50 cents an hour.
My parents used to sell at flea markets, so from a very young age I have been involved in selling at flea markets, but my first real job was working at McDonald's at the age of 16. I had to work at the one on the corner of 422 in Niles because all the cars were there on Friday and I wanted to be someplace that was fun.
My first job was detasseling corn. Do you know what that is? So detasseling corn, you walk through the rows of corn and you pick off the top of the plant. So it's something about the whole pollination, like which rows are actually pollinating the other plants. I don't know, I just know that I had to get up really early during the summer, wear jeans and a flannel shirt and walk through rows of corn, and I knew I didn't want to do that when I grew up.
My neighborhood, there were like 5 girls, so we all hung together. And so we played in this league, and one of the players went through all my girlfriends, asked them to babysit for her. They had 3 children. This couple had 3 children. And the reason they asked my girlfriends, I believe, before they asked me, because my girlfriends could drive, they had cars. So it was always the day after a babysitting event. I'd call the girlfriend, hey, how'd it go last night? Those brats, I'm never watching them again. Next week, and the other girlfriend was asked to go. Those brats, next day, I'm not babysitting them again. So they went through all the girlfriends. So it was like finally one night as practice, because she played soccer with us, she goes, will you babysit the kids tonight? I go, sure, but I don't drive. Can you pick me up? I think that's why they never asked me. I babysat for them for 3 years. Love the kids, because I am from a family of 7 kids. So I could be nice as pie, but I could be mean if I needed to be.
My first job, my grandparents had a farm, and I grew up selling vegetables at the end of their driveway. I learned at an early age what hard work was, and really never got paid. I got to bond with my grandfather, sitting as he sat in the garage, being my bodyguard and watchdog. And I actually, when my father got laid off, I was in middle school, and my grandparents decided back to school shopping was maybe not going to happen as it normally did every year. So my grandparents decided to give me money and pay me that year to work, and I got 10% of what I sold each day. So I saved my money that year, that summer, and bought my own school clothes, went proudly, and paid for my own clothes and supplies, go back to school.
Several years ago, we started our Athena Leadership Forum, where each year we offer a leadership program for women in the community. And 10 years ago, we established a scholarship to further the goals of our Athena mission of advancing women's leadership and to promote education. In conjunction with the Community Foundation of the Mahoning Valley, which manages the Athena Scholarship Fund, we're able to award a deserving student a $1,500 scholarship to further her education. And in addition, we're very proud and grateful to say that once again, Lee and Bonnie Deutsch-Boardman are also donating an iPad to this year's scholarship recipient. So here to introduce our 2018 Athena Scholarship recipient is the president of the Community Foundation of the Mahoning Valley, Sherry Harrell.
Thank you, Dr. Licata, and good evening, everyone. First, on behalf of the Community Foundation of the Mahoning Valley, our board, and our staff, we want to congratulate all of this year's honorees for the Athena Award. It is my distinct honor to present this year's Athena Scholarship to a deserving young woman who clearly stood out among the applicants. The requirements of the scholarship state that an applicant must be a resident of the Mahoning Valley and either a high school senior planning to attend Youngstown State University, Eastern Gateway Community College, or Kent State University's regional campuses, or a student currently enrolled at those institutions. The recipient of the Athena Scholarship should demonstrate initiative and excellence in her educational or work pursuits, a proven record of community involvement, and a commitment to and experience in mentoring others. As you are about to hear, our recipient has excelled at all levels. After graduating from Girard High School in 2017, Emily Marsico began attending Youngstown State University, where she was accepted into the Accelerated Pre-Med program. She will receive her Bachelor of Science degree in biology from YSU in 3 years, and then will have 4 years of medical education at Neomed. Emily was also accepted into the YSU Honors College program and its STEM Leadership Society. She received nearly $13,000 in scholarships last year for her education and made both the Dean's and the President's list last fall. While she volunteered for numerous organizations and causes during her 4 years in high school, she has continued to give back to her community. In the past year, Emily has pulled weeds and flower beds for the Ursuline Sisters House. She has moved and restocked the student food pantry at YSU, sold shirts for the Youngstown Peace Race, and made sleeping mats out of plastic bags for local homeless shelters in the Valley, just to name a few. Emily is also part of the Penguin Pen Pals and writes to 5th graders in Youngstown and Girard schools. The purpose of this program is to help the students with their writing skills and to inspire them to want more for themselves. She also belongs to the student organization Poverty Awareness in Youngstown, which was created to give children in the city who live in poverty a safe environment and support. Emily says her ultimate goal in becoming a physician is to help others and become a voice for the underserved. And we certainly hope she'll do that here in the Valley. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate our 2018 Athena Scholarship recipient, Miss Emily Marsico.
Hello, everyone. It is truly such an honor to be in a room of so many empowered women. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Youngstown-Warren Regional Chamber and its ATHENA Committee, as well as the Community Foundation of the Mahoning Valley, for selecting me to be this year's Athena Scholarship recipient. I am truly humbled by your decision to grant me such a prestigious award in this community. Now I would like to share some information about myself. I'm a sophomore at Youngstown State University and pursuing a degree in biology pre-medicine. My aspiration in life is to provide affordable and accessible primary health care to everyone in the Mahoning Valley. The Youngstown-Warren area has provided me with so many opportunities and has really shaped me into the person I am today. I hope to one day give back to this community and help it reach the potential I know it has. It is foundations, much like this one, who are giving students like myself the ability to pay for an education that will contribute to a more prosperous tomorrow. Thank you to the Chamber and the Athena Committee for not only rewarding me, but rewarding women in this community for being leaders, role models, and people who strive to make this community a better place. Thank you.
Congratulations, Emily. Very well-deserved and very inspirational. When we presented the Athena Scholarships at this event 6 years ago, John Cooper, the Vice President of Sales for Ohio at Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield and a longtime supporter of the Athena program, was in the crowd and was wowed by the presentation of the Athena Scholarship and the accomplishments and remarks of the recipient, and Emily is a perfect example of that. That night, he vowed to help even more young women pursue their educational goals, and tonight we're honored to present again 2 additional Anthem scholarships in the amount of $1,250 each. Please welcome to present these awards, Erin Maloney, Sales Manager for Key Accounts at Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Thank you, Dr. Licata. Our first Anthem Scholarship recipient is Lindy DeFrancis. Lindy will graduate from Howland High School with a 3.86 grade point average and is set to pursue a degree in nursing at Youngstown State University, where she is already taking College Credit Plus courses and carrying a 4.0 to follow her dreams of ultimately becoming a nurse practitioner. Lindy aims to be a proactive member of society who works on finding solutions to some of our community's most pressing problems, such as the drug epidemic, and helping individuals who struggle also become productive members of society. The National Honor Society member, who has also been on the honor roll throughout high school and lettered in academics and band, has always had a passion for helping others. Lindy has volunteered at the Children's Rehabilitation Center, Northeast Ohio Adoption Services, Mobile Meals Stew Cook-Off, and Down Syndrome Association of the Valley, and also helped with Tiger Food Backpacks, the Animal Welfare League Menagerie, and Tony Ross Rainbow Run. When we called Lindy to inform her that she'd been chosen to receive the scholarship, she let us know that she took great interest in the ATHENA program when her mother, Sharon DeFrancis, was nominated in 2016. She attended the event that year in support of her mom and knew she wanted to continue to be part of this program in some way, and we couldn't be more proud of her. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate our first Anthem Scholarship recipient, Miss Lindy DeFrancis.
Good evening, everyone. I'm incredibly honored to be here tonight. First, I want to thank the Youngstown-Warren Regional Chamber and its ATHENA committee, as well as Anthem, for selecting me for this scholarship. I feel privileged to receive your support as I pursue my future educational endeavors. I also want to thank my parents for all of their guidance and always supporting me with my goals and pushing me to work hard to achieve my dreams. Finally, I would like to thank my sister and grandpa for being here tonight to share in this special occasion with me. A few years ago, I sat in this audience with my mother, who was one of the ATHENA nominees. I was moved by the number of professional women in the Valley that have provided an outstanding amount of service and leadership to our community and set a strong example for other professional women to follow in their footsteps. I would also like to take a moment to congratulate this year's ATHENA nominees for their distinguished service. My future wish is to be here again someday as a potential ATHENA nominee that has made a huge impact on our community. Once again, I thank you for your support and confidence in my future. I'm very appreciative of your assistance as I begin the next chapter of my education, studying nursing at Youngstown State University. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindy, and again, congratulations. Our second Anthem Scholarship recipient, Kate Denmead, is also gearing up to begin her next chapter at Youngstown State University, where she will pursue a degree in English with a minor in professional writing and editing. Kate, who will graduate from Springfield High School with a 4.0 grade point average and ranks first in her class, has been honored for her many achievements, including induction into the National Honor Society and the school's Academic Hall of Fame, National Honor Roll, academic letters, awards and honors, and advanced placement classes, ribbons for her artwork, and Scholar Athlete Awards. She coached recreational soccer for the Springfield Youth Association for 3 years and also acted as referee for the association. She has volunteered at various church functions, as well as for the Green Team, Relay for Life, and several projects that took place throughout the Springfield High School District, including with elementary school children. After obtaining her degree in English, Kate intends to pursue a law degree so that she can help others. As she says, "I know that my heart was made to defend those who cannot defend themselves. I hope to become someone who can always help others and therefore add my contribution, no matter how small, in bettering the world." And we have no doubt that Kate is going to do just that. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our second Anthem Scholarship recipient, Kate Denmead.
Good evening. I'm honored to be here tonight among so many strong women and men who support them. I would first like to thank Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield for providing ambitious young women the opportunity of such an amazing scholarship toward their education, and the Community Foundation for selecting me as one of their recipients. I'm immensely grateful. I would also like to thank my loving parents for their unwavering support and for raising me to believe that there are no limits to what a woman can accomplish. You allowed me to gaze upon the stars and to dream. I also like to thank you for so much for what you've sacrificed throughout the years. I'm eager to begin the journey that lies ahead and to work hard for all those who believe in me. I'm greatly humbled to be with such inspiring women and to be blessed with a scholarship. Thank you for allowing me the ability to reach my goals and to keep my eyes on the stars.
We know the past predicts the future, so I have no doubt that we'll be seeing these three young ladies back here someday as Athena nominees. Before we officially introduce our 2018 Athena Award nominees, I'd like to ask you to again direct your attention to the screens so we can learn a little bit more about this evening's nominees.
First is my mom. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and in her day that was common. But for my sister and I don't think that would have been an option for us because she always encouraged us, you know, education, career, just to, you know, be fulfilled and live a life that we want to live and enjoy our career. And then my sister went blind when she was 9 and is now the director of Disability Services at Xavier University in Cincinnati. So she never let that stop her. She has her bachelor's and a master's degree from Wright State. So truly an inspiration because she's living her life and doing well.
I have had the opportunity to watch a woman take on a role that I don't believe that her work and maybe even her educational experience truly prepared her for. And she's embraced the challenges that have been put before her. The things that she's had to learn, the obstacles that she's had to overcome have been so inspiring for me. Her willingness to continue to educate herself and her willingness to do whatever is asked from her is a real inspiration. And I really find myself lucky to be her mentor, mentee, to call her my coworker. And she's also an Athena finalist, Heather Chun.
My inspiration is my dad. My dad's 90 years old. He's handicapped, he's in a wheelchair, and that man just keeps going and keeps thinking and keeps plugging along like there's nothing wrong with him, like he's 60 years old. And he is my inspiration, my guidance, my hero.
My parents were my role models, my inspiration, and they taught my brother and me that whatever we did, we needed to be the best we could be. We needed to have respect and integrity. We needed to meet each person where they were, to value the individual and to make a difference in this world and to have a life of service.
My inspiration is my brother, Doug. Doug is 6 years younger than I. He was born with a lot of challenges at birth, and he's had many since. After he was graduated from high school, he went to the Goodwill program here in Youngstown, and they then placed him in his job, where he remained for 30 years. He's very quick to remind me that he's 6 years younger, he's retired, and I'm not. So whenever life gets a little difficult, I think of Doug and the obstacles he has overcome, and he encourages me to persevere.
My dad is one of 9 children whose father passed away in a trucking accident when he was 9 years old. He was raised for the most part of his life by his grandparents. He graduated high school and he joined the Navy. When he left the Navy, he married who later became my mother. Together they had 6 girls, hoped for a boy, so they gave it another shot at having a boy, and they had their 7th child, which was in fact a boy, but my mother had passed away during childbirth. So my dad had raised 7 kids from newborn to 17 years old at the time. He was 38 years old. He also owned and operated a construction business.
So I don't remember a day in my life where my dad called off work, missed a day of work. I don't remember a time where he missed a cheerleading tryout or helping me through something in life.
There's many people that have inspired me over the years, but I guess I would say my father has been the most inspirational in my life. He was, growing up, he was always at all my events, all my athletic events, my games, my matches, tennis matches, and he always just had words of wisdom, or even if I did well, he still critiqued and gave me words of encouragement that I could always do better. And then again, growing up, he got laid off and worked 3 jobs and still didn't let that impact our family and our lifestyle, and worked hard to provide for his family and taught me that you can still overcome obstacles that come in your way.
In life would be Julia Vandegrift. She was the coordinator of children's services in Trumbull County when I was 15 years old. My mom attempted suicide over my father, and I lived there. I've kept in contact with her, so we've had a 30-year relationship. It is because of her. She was one of the reasons I did get my social work degree at YSU. For professional, it would be Beverly Jean Pollard. I got to work with her. She was very stern, but she was an excellent woman that had much integrity, and she taught me a lot about doing a good job, having integrity where you go, and doing the best that you can always do for everyone.
My inspiration is my mom. Everything that she has gone through growing up and that we have gone through together, it's just the two of us, always has been, always will be. She's always shown me the right way of doing things.
My inspiration my entire life would have to be my mother, through life and work. She always taught me to be kind, but at the same time she taught me really to be strong and to go what I wanted for in life, because I could do anything I wanted to do. And she's like, the world is your oyster, and at the end of the day, your blood, your sweat, and your tears are going to be worth it in the end. And it's interesting, I reflect now because I no longer have my mother. There are still many times I feel her tapping me on my shoulder saying, it'll be worth it, Nene. The blood, the sweat, and the tears, it'll be worth it.
I think at different times in your life you're inspired by different things. At this point in my life, though, I'm really inspired by my 4 children who are all in their 20s. And I think the reason is that they were all born and raised here in Youngstown, went to an inner city parochial school, and left here to go to college. And now I find them as young adults navigating cities and transportation systems and relationships and work, and they all do different things. And I'm in awe of how these kids who could have been raised in small town United States could find their place in the world.
And in addition to videos, we're going to share brief bios with you this evening, but I would also indicate that in your program there's some additional information about each of the nominees. We'll be introducing these women in groups of 7. So I'm going to ask the first group of 7 nominees if they would please assemble to the left side of the stage. Megan Bear Zidian, Heather Chun, Roberta Saikon, Deneen Mace-Vajunik, Kristen Malash, Cheryl MacArthur, and Regina Mitchell. While I'm reading your introduction, if you would please join Dr. Marla Perez-Davis and Mr. James Dignan on stage to have your photo taken. And we would ask the audience to please hold your applause until the first group is completed. In a short time, Megan Bear Zidian has significantly impacted the practice of school law in Ohio. In fact, the 2011 graduate of the University of Akron School of Law was named a partner and shareholder in 2018 with Ennis Britton Company, and is the youngest attorney in the firm's history to hold those titles. Megan serves as the lead counsel for more than 30 school districts in Ohio. She has helped facilitate the expansion of the United Way's after-school program, volunteered with the Boys and Girls Club after-school enrichment program, and worked as lead facilitator between the United Way and Ageless Eye Care physicians to provide eyeglasses and eye exams for all Youngstown elementary students. Heather Chun has dedicated 10 years to raising funds to support Youngstown State University's operations, services, scholarships, and expansion. Initially a member of YSU's development team, Heather was integral in securing major funds, including a $600,000 Kresge Foundation grant. Thank you, Heather. $1.5 million in scholarship endowments, $750,000 for the standalone Veterans Resource Center, and a $100,000 endowment to support Women in Engineering Day at YSU. She led the way in reorganizing the YSU Foundation and was recognized for her efforts by being named its vice president in 2014. Heather's community service includes the Western Reserve Health Education Foundation and the board of the Mahoning Valley College Access Program. Roberta Sycon put her social work career on hold. To preserve an iconic Warren landmark as a recreation space for city families. Roberta purchased Putt Putt of Warren in 2016, rescuing it from plans to be turned into a parking lot. Since then, Roberta has hosted several community events, including a seniors tournament, after-school activities for students, and major regional and national tour events. She balances managing Putt Putt with pursuing her social work degree, while also continuing to run her women's organization, Integrity Beauty Women of Excellence. Her efforts have led to several honors that include Warren High School's Distinguished Alumni, as well as International Women's Day and Valley Legacy Award nominations. Deneen Mays Vizhunik, has served Mercy Health Youngstown for 30 years in progressively growing roles. She began her career as a staff nurse in 1988 and is now the Vice President of Orthopedics and Neurosciences. Among her many accomplishments is introducing at St. E's Youngstown Hospital the telestroke program that significantly reduces the time to treatment for patients suffering from a stroke. Deneen has served as a board member for Life Bank Ohio for 15 years, as a volunteer with the Western Reserve Athletic Department, and is active with her stepson's workshop at Michelle Masco. She's been nationally recognized for her knowledge of trauma, leadership, and nursing. As Environmental Health and Safety Director for the North American region of Vallourec, Kristen Malash has focused on developing a proactive safety culture and increasing environmental awareness in Vallourec's 10 North American manufacturing plants. During her tenure, the company has experienced a 42% reduction in recordable injury rates and a 56% reduction in lost time injury rates. Kristen chairs the Safety Committee of the Steel Manufacturers Association and is a member of the board of the American Red Cross Youngstown chapter. She is a member of the Society of Women Engineers and a guiding member of Women at Vallourec, focused on workplace equality and developing the next generation of leaders. Cheryl MacArthur. Cheryl currently serves as both the Chief of Human Resources for the Youngstown City Schools and the Director of Human Resources and Operations for the Mahoning County Educational Service Center. She's known by her coworkers and colleagues for streamlining and improving current processes and procedures and creating effective, efficient new ones. Cheryl has been a member of the YWCA of Warren Board of Directors since 2010. In that time, she has shown great leadership as Vice President and President, a role in which she served 2 terms. In April of 2018, she took on the role of Board President for the newly formed YWCA Mahoning Valley. As former president of her family's business, Warren Fabricating and Machining, Regina Mitchell increased revenue, created and implemented safety and health and wellness programs, and empowered women in the workplace by promoting them into management, appointing a female safety manager, and hiring the company's first female welder. She's now fighting Northeast Ohio's opioid epidemic as CEO and owner of Recovery Solutions Hope Village, a detoxification and rehabilitation center recently opened to create a safe place for those battling heroin addiction. Regina is the founder and trustee of the Regina M. Reben Family Foundation, which has awarded more than $500,000 to community organizations, such as the American Heart Association and Hannah's House Rehabilitation Home for Women. Please join me in giving a round of applause to our first group of nominees.
I'd like to ask our next group of nominees, Kathy Mock, Missy Moorhead, Cheney Nesbith, Kiowa Pegues, Janet Pellish, Brenda Ryder, and Judge Carol Ann Robb, to join Mary Beth near the stage and to join James and Dr. Perez Davis on stage as I read your introductions. As Director of Education and Initiatives at the United Way of Youngstown and Mahoning Valley, Kathy Mock is dedicated to giving every child the opportunity to learn. She oversees the organization's Success by Six, Success After Six, and Young Women's Mentorship programs, and was instrumental in developing the Dolly Parton Imagination Library for Mahoning County and the Reading Buddy program that pairs reading tutors and mentors with preschool to 8th grade children. Under Kathy's leadership, all of these programs have grown in scope and number of participants. The former educator is a longtime member and past president of the Austintown Schools Board of Education. Kathy and her family formed the Mock Charitable Foundation in memory of her daughter, Samantha. Thank you. Missy Moorhead started her now 20-year career in banking as a teller with Key Bank. Since then, she has been steadily promoted and is now an operations leader responsible for 13 branches in the Akron and Youngstown markets, as well as 15 branches in the Cleveland market. Missy has been a junior achievement volunteer for the last 4 years, and during that time, she has partnered with the United Way and Junior Achievement to instruct a 6-week session focused on the goal setting and financial education with the Young Women's Mentoring Program. She is also an active volunteer with 4-H, in which her daughters participate. Thank you. As a development officer with the YSU Foundation, Cheney Nesbitt has raised $4.5 million in cash, bequests, and in-kind donations for the university. Recently, she represented YSU and the Rich Center for Autism at the 10th Annual Anti-for-Autism Celebrity Poker Tournament in Las Vegas, in which the Rich Center was one of 5 organizations to benefit. She is co-chair of the 2018 National Philanthropy Day Committee for the Association of Fundraising Professionals, a team leader for East Palestine Day of Giving, a member of the Board of Director of Junior Achievement, and an event volunteer and development committee member of Women United through the United Way. Thank you, Jean. Kiowa Pegues has received many awards and promotions in her 35-year banking career, but considers her most important professional accomplishment to be her current role as CRA Market Manager with Capital Bank. Kiowa works tirelessly to collaborate with local nonprofits and service agencies to provide Community Reinvestment Act programs to low to moderate income individuals. Furthermore, in 2017, she created and hosted a successful Mahoning Valley nonprofit roundtable to further encourage collaboration. Kiowa provides financial education for the Boys and Girls Club, where she has served on the board of directors for 17 years, and for Beatitude House. In 2017 alone, she dedicated 100 hours to various community projects. Thank you. Educator Janet Polish has been working in the Austintown Local School District for more than 25 years and currently serves as its Director of District Programs and K-5 Instruction. In that role, she hopes to generate more than $1.5 million in revenue annually for those programs. Among many significant accomplishments was creating and directing Falcon Pride Online, an alternative program in the district. She also worked with the Ohio Medicaid School Program, which generates over $300,000 annually for students with disabilities. Janet is an active member of the Austintown Junior Women's League and serves as lead planner for its fundraiser, Taste of Austintown. Thank you. When Brenda Ryder was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1999, she was given just 6 months to live. After experimental treatment and the will to fight helped her beat those odds, Brenda has spent the last 19 years helping others find the strength to fight through her literacy nonprofit, Away with Words Foundation. The foundation has expanded to include a children's choir, book publishing, music CDs, softball tournaments, and more, to raise funds to support those affected by cancer and other medical issues. Brenda, who is the video coordinator and outside service bailiff for the City of Youngstown, is a member of the Youngstown Air Reserve Base Community Council and volunteers at the Dorothy Day House and Sojourner House. In the near 40 years since Judge Carol Ann Robb started her career in law, she has served as a magistrate in the Columbiana County Court of Common Pleas and municipal court judge for Columbiana County, and currently serves as a judge on the 7th District Court of Appeals. Over the years, Judge Robb has created and implemented several service and rehabilitation programs, including a diversion program for underage consumption cases, a driver's license reinstatement program, and Defendants Getting Ahead, which uses Bridges Out of Poverty to help defendants obtain and maintain employment. She is actively involved in many organizations, including the New Waterford United Methodist Church, Crestview Local School District, and Columbiana Community Foundation. Thank you. Can we please give a round of applause to our second group of nominees?
I'd like to ask our final group of nominees, Phyllis Schaub, Karen Segesto, Amanda Shina Cutright, Ursula Shugart, Sheila Triplett, Penny Wells, and Dr. Elizabeth Young to join Mary Beth near the stage, and then James and Dr. Perez Davis on stage as I read your introductions. Phyllis Schaub has dedicated her career as an environmental engineer at MS Consultants Incorporated and as a design professional to improving the quality of life for others. Her efforts have been focused on improvements for water and wastewater infrastructure in Mahoning, Trumbull, Jefferson, Columbiana, and Mercer counties. In 2016, MS named Phyllis its Technical Services Manager for the Northeast Ohio Utilities Group, in which she is responsible for creating and enforcing quality design standards company-wide. As Community Outreach Director for the MS Youngstown office, Phyllis is heavily active with United Way, serving as a founding member of its Young Women's Mentorship Program, Events Officer for Women United, and a volunteer with Success After 6. Karen Segesto began her career in the financial services industry right out of high school, taking on many roles, including bank teller, district manager, and investment relationship manager, that led to where she is today. As senior client advisor with PNC Wealth Management, Karen has experienced continued success in new client acquisition and market share growth, for which she has received Market All-Star recognition. Among her many community contributions, Karen is the co-founder of Sight for All United, a nonprofit that provides eye care to the Valley's uninsured and underinsured. To date, Sight for All has provided 286 people with surgeries, exams, and glasses. Amanda Shina Cutright has been the outreach coordinator for the Shenango Valley Chamber of Commerce for the past 2 years and has worked to help increase membership, retention, and event attendance. She has also grown her family's One Hot Dog Designs business, making dog collars and accessories. In its second year of business, Mandy has doubled revenue, created a wholesale program, and is in the process of creating a brand ambassador program. She is a member of the CEO Citizens Coalition for the Youngstown City Schools, through which she established the East High School Rugby Boosters Club, and has volunteered with Angels for Animals for 9 years, primarily through its annual garage sale fundraiser. During her 15 years of practicing law, Ursula Shugart established her own firm, Shugart Law Firm, LLC, while also becoming the first female prosecutor for the city of Hubbard. While she continues in both roles, she has also opened Studio Pump, an evidence-based health and fitness studio with locations in Boardman and Columbiana. Ursula hopes to eventually franchise Studio Pump to bring its mission of empowerment to more communities. She utilizes the studios and resources to raise money for St. Jude's research and holds drives for various causes. Ursula also holds special fitness events for kids with cancer. She was named a Hometown Hero in 2015 and a Top Attorney of North America for 2016 and 2017. Sheila Triplett lives by the motto, "To whom much is given, much is expected," which she brings every day to her role at the Mahoning-Youngstown Community Action Partnership. As Executive Director, Sheila oversees a $4.3 million budget that provides programs and services to more than 14,000 low-income residents. Her innovative leadership and unrelenting dedication has led her to create opportunities for change and sustainability for these individuals. Sheila serves on several community boards, including Potential Development, Catholic Charities, and Action. She has also worked as a certified chemical dependency counselor and a licensed social worker with Neil Kennedy's Woman-to-Woman program and Beatitude House's transitional housing. Through her vast and varied 50-year career in education, Penny Wells counts the creation of Mahoning Valley Sojourn to the Past as her greatest accomplishment. Through this organization, for which Penny has raised $500,000, she has not only taken students on an annual 10-day journey to Southern civil rights sites, but mentored and taught them about the importance of justice, nonviolence, civics, compassion, and tolerance. In 2013, Sojourn students were responsible for sponsoring a bill in the Ohio General Assembly that established the first week of October as Ohio Nonviolence Week. The students were even with Governor John Kasich when he signed their bill into law. For this work, Penny and her students were granted the Coretta Scott King Peace Award. In February of this year, Dr. Elizabeth Young, Professor of Internal Medicine, was named Vice President for Health Affairs and Dean of the College of Medicine at Northeast Ohio Medical University after serving as Interim Vice President and Dean in 2017. She is the first NeoMed alumnus to serve as Dean of the College of Medicine. Dr. Young, who has been an active faculty member at NeoMed since 1990, has been honored with the inaugural College of Medicine Dean's Award, the Liebelt Wheeler Award for Faculty Excellence, and the NeoMed Gender Equity Award, just to name a few. She is a member of the Biomed Science Academy Governing Board and is involved with the American Heart Association and the Dorothy Day Homeless Shelter. Can we please give a round of applause to our final group of nominees? Of course, we're going to keep you in suspense a bit longer, and we'll name our 2018 Athena Award recipient a little later. And in a moment, Bill Shivers is going to introduce our speaker for the evening. But first, I ask you to direct your attention to the screens once more.
So everybody knows that I like to cook and bake, whether it's kolache or jambalaya, but what I really like to eat is a good old chili dog. So that's something I think different people don't realize is no matter how fancy I like to cook, just a simple chili dog is what I like to eat.
I'm around people all the time. I started out my professional career as a counselor. I've worked in a lot of group situations. I'm working in an agency that's busy all day, but I really love solitude. I love to walk by myself and just think and meditate or listen to good music. And I think most people, because they always see me around other folks, that they wouldn't think that I was a person that really I like to hear my thoughts sometimes.
We live on a farm, and my girls walk their pigs around our property to train them. And when cars pass and see a pig, they actually, sometimes they often stop and say, "What are you doing?" So that's quite comical to see their reaction and, you know, their questions they ask us why we're walking a pig in our yard.
I was my high school mascot.
I can't dance and I have no rhythm, which is a fact.
I'm a terrible cook. I mean, a really bad cook. I boil eggs until they're dry. I've caught the oven on fire. The dog won't eat my meatloaf. We had the fire truck up here in our driveway once, and now the chief of the fire department has an arrangement with us where he calls first before he dispatches the truck to see if I'm cooking.
I actually do bar and event security. I am, yes, a bouncer at some of the venues, and started my own company too as well. So it's a fun job. No one expects it when 5'3" female goes to kick a guy out of the bar for acting up. So it's a fun hobby.
I was raised with 4 brothers, so I was the only girl in the house beside my mother. And when I was about 7 or 8 years old, I became infatuated with the Muppet character Miss Piggy. I just adored her for her courage and her strength, and she was different, and it was okay to be different. I went on to have a Miss Piggy collection, and I had over 100 items of Miss Piggy throughout my room. So many people don't know that about me, but to this day, I just adore her.
I used to be an athlete, MVP, captain of the Hiram College women's tennis team my senior year. Played most sports. The one sport I wish I would have learned was golf, because now that I'm a banker, I don't know how to play golf, and there's all of these golf outings every week.
I grew up in a town that was surrounded by the city of Dallas called Highland Park, and the school was on a Scottish theme, so I played the bagpipes in the high school band. And my godmother, Margaret, was from Ireland, so she surprised me one year with a set of bagpipes. And the only difference was the cover on her the bagpipe she brought was green instead of plaid. Most people think that it's difficult to learn the pipes. The hardest part is you have to have a lot of hot air.
I'm the youngest of 9 children. I was an aunt at a very early age. Is probably why I, adore children, and all of the community work that I do is with and for children.
Dr. Marla Perez Davis serves as the Deputy Director of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration John H. Glenn Research Center in Cleveland. In this capacity, she shares with the Center Director responsibility for planning, organizing, and managing the agency-level programs and projects assigned to the center. Dr. Perez Davis has had several key positions since joining NASA Glenn in 1983. Prior to becoming Deputy Director, she was a Deputy Director of Research and Engineering Directorate, in which she led, planned, coordinated, and managed all phases of Glenn's research and engineering activities to accomplish NASA's missions. She also served as Director of Aeronautics Research, Chief of the Project Liaison and Integration Office, and Chief of the Electrochemistry Branch, where her leadership resulted in strengthening the energy, storage, and power competencies, as well as establishment of new partnerships. Dr. Perez Davis has been honored for her many achievements and was named recipient of NASA's Outstanding Leadership Medal, 2015 Cranes Women of Note, Top 25 Elite Businesswoman by Hispanic Business Magazine, Woman of Color Achievement, Distinguished Alumni Award, Alumni Association of University of Puerto Rico, Mayagüez, Women in Aerospace Award of Aerospace Awareness, Woman of Color Technology Award for Career Achievement, and the Hispanic Engineering National Achievement Santiago Rodriguez Diversity Award. She is also a certified NASA Lean Six Sigma Black Belt. She'll tell you about that. The native of Puerto Rico earned her bachelor's degree from the University of Puerto Rico, a Master of Science degree from the University of Toledo, and a PhD from Case Western Reserve University in Chemical Engineering. In 2006, she completed NASA's Senior Executive Service Candidate Development Program and the Office of Personnel Management Program. Off the clock, Dr. Perez Davis, I don't know if she has time, but Dr. Perez Davis is a CrossFit enthusiast, enjoys bike rides, and loves to cook. She has 2 young adult sons who have completed their college degrees, and they enjoy spending time together, traveling both in U.S. and abroad. It's not very often that you get to introduce a true rocket scientist. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Marla Perez.
Thank you for that introduction, especially the rocket science. I really like that. Good evening, everyone. It is an honor to be part of this event, and I have to say this. Wow, I am so impressed with the amount of talent in this room. It is just amazing. So I am really appreciative of this opportunity. Today, we recognize and celebrate excellence. Congratulations to all nominees. You are leading the way, you have found your voice, and you are making a difference. I am humbled by the opportunity to address you all and energized by the plentiful magic created by the audience. Let me start with a disclaimer. Habits are difficult to break, so in writing my message to you all, I reach out to my books and rely on my technical background. For those of you looking for the door, relax. Stop and don't worry. I promise there will be no lectures, quizzes, or mathematical equations. Relax. So how many in here know about the butterfly effect? Got to take my glasses. All right, we have. Yeah, okay, good. Let's see, you can quiz me later on. As defined by Wikipedia in chaos theory, the butterfly effect is the sensitive dependency of initial condition in which a small change in one state of a deterministic nonlinear system can result in large difference in later state. So some of you saying, what is she talking about? Let me explain. So the term has been explained using the metaphorical example of the detail of a tornado being influenced by minor perturbation such as the flapping of the wing of a distant butterfly several weeks earlier. It is important to highlight that, as any other scientific theory or concept, some will argue the validity of that model. Still, it allows me to introduce the concept of small perturbations that influence my early years and the unexpected outcomes. So everyone has a story to tell, full of challenges and opportunities, tears and laughs, accomplishments and regrets. More importantly, the sum of all, not the part, is what determines who you are and your contributions to society. My story is similar and is not too much different from many of yours. What differentiates it will be the characters of the stories and the characteristics of the environment you grew in. So I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. My family is from a small town in the mountainside of the island called Adjuntas. Adjuntas is the kind of town where everybody knows everybody. You cannot hide it. My parents divorced when I was very young. We were kind of pre-teenagers, my sisters and I. And my mother became the head of the family for the three of us. It took me 4 decades to realize and feel the magnitude of my mother's efforts. And I'm not just referring to the basics. We have always recognized and appreciated everything she did to make us who we are today. I am referring to the stereotypes, the struggles, the fears, and to some extent the loneliness associated with finding yourself with a high school degree, 3 young kids, and limited financial resources. At an early age, I learned about vision, commitment, following the rules, the importance of an education, a non-negotiable item for my mother. It was non-negotiable. And the expectation that you must always try to do your best. My mother completed her associated degree in the nights and worked very hard to provide us a roof, clothes, and food on the table. As a middle child, I was independent, fearless, and introvert. And with that sense of not belonging that usually accompanies the middle child. As you know, the youngest is always the baby. My sister will not like this, which carries a number of benefits, including being sheltered. The oldest gets the attention associated with being first and recognized every time a milestone is achieved, such as the first day of school, the first dance, the first one to go to college, and so on. Growing up, we were together all the time, so there are many memories full of laughs, tears, and fears too. By now, you have 3 of the 4 women, characters of my story, my mother, and my 2 sisters. There are other characters, but today we will talk about the women of my story and their influence and impact on my life. Let us go back to the butterfly effect and introduce the butterfly wings. In my story, I consider my grandmother, who passed away several years ago, the flapping of the wings. She was an entrepreneur, one of the town's dressmaker, respected, known, and loved by many. She treated everyone with kindness and respect. Best way to describe her behavior is that if you don't have something positive to say about someone, better not to say anything. She was a listener, the one that provided unconditional love. In times of need, she was the pillar and the one that would make things happen for us. When food was scarce, she would provide. When we would feel misunderstood, she would drop everything and sit down and talk to you. When you want to talk about girl stuff, she will listen and make you laugh with her own stories. For a child, that offers security and comfort. My grandmother was a very special lady that is dearly missed every single day by my sisters and me. My mother and grandmother provided the small perturbations that make a difference. In any other circumstances, those small perturbations are huge, but from the eyes of a kid, meaningless. The small perturbations I'm referring to are best described as resiliency, determination, leadership, commitment, and respect. Those perturbations set in motion actions that led me to stand in front of all of you today. When I first started talking about studying engineering, I experienced support from my family and skepticism or disapproval from others. Back then, engineer was not a common career choice for women. After all, What were the odds of a girl from a small and poor mountainside town in Puerto Rico to become an engineer? I defeated those odds. Self-motivations and inner drive made me believe that I was able and capable of achieving my goals. While in college, working toward my undergraduate degree, I have great memories of teamwork and acceptance. Never felt different or that I didn't belong. During my junior year, I was invited to join a research project sponsored by a well-known professor in the chemical engineering department at the University of Puerto Rico, Mayagüez. When NASA recruiters visited the University of Puerto Rico, Mayagüez, I was very fortunate to get an offer from NASA. Competition for NASA job is always fierce, but I had something that others were lacking: research experience. I was thrilled, and I didn't hesitate in accepting the offer. Little I knew about what was to come, it was the beginning of a journey. It is a privilege and an honor to be a NASA employee. I am so just much grateful for everything, the good and the not so good. Never in my wildest dream I expected to be in this position and or have such a wonderful and fulfilling career. When I joined NASA, my first challenge was to deal with the real meaning and implications of being a minority. Suddenly, I went from an engineer student to a member of a workforce in a place far away from home, and more challenging yet, the complexities associated with a different culture and language. It did not take long for me to realize that for some individuals, I did not belong. At times, I felt held to double standards, but I was willing to take and accept the challenges. I have learned and accept that at times people are going to judge me by my accent and that I have no control over people's filters and perceptions. It is not about me, it is about them. Inclusion is a choice, so choose wisely and you will be rewarded. I am sure that you all, at some point in time, have experienced the frustration and awful feeling of being excluded or underappreciated. Next time you're going to return the favor and treat someone as they don't belong, think twice about acting that way. Sometimes the challenges and roadblocks serve as our best motivators. My grandmother and my mother's influence served me well. It provided a purpose, to prove the non-believers wrong and to make the believers proud. At work, I would call it career endurance. I started my professional career as a researcher in the area of energy storage. That while working full-time and raising a family. I completed my master's degree and went on through a NASA graduate program to earn my PhD in chemical engineering. It wasn't easy, but I have the support of my family and mentors and the determination to do my best in reaching my goals. It goes without saying that along the way, there were sacrifices, ups and downs, and some regrets too. The regrets are the topic for another talk. One aspect for which I take a lot of pride and satisfaction is having two wonderful and very accomplished sons. They are my biggest fans, and likewise, I am their #1 fan too. As a conclusion of my talk, I would like to share some insights and reflections. Acknowledge those that helped you along the way. Be grateful and find ways to give back. Find a mentor and be a mentor. Take responsibility for your personal and career decisions. For me, not everything has worked out the way I wanted. I have made plenty of mistakes. Be willing to accept new challenges to broaden your knowledge and grow as a person. Learn from your mistake and celebrate your achievements. Be willing to take risks. Leaders don't stay too long in the comfort zone. They move on, they promote change, and they adapt. I have been naive thinking that you can have it all. It is not about having it all, but finding the right balance and find yourself in a good place. Find your voice. Be prepared and work hard. Build a network. Great example where we are here today. It provides for career or personal growth. Get to know your strengths and weaknesses. In other words, keep your ego in check. Strive for life and work balance. And most of all, stay positive. Bad things happen to good people. Bad things is just part of the life. For all the women in the audience, you are powerful, you're capable, and you're unique. Thank you.
Dr. Perez-Davis, thank you for sharing your journey with us, and thank you for your inspirational words. And on behalf of all of us in the Mahoney family, thank you. Thank you. Before we announce our 2018 ATHENA Award recipient, I'd like to ask you to turn your attention to the screens for one last time.
So if you can find that mentor, that person that is going to be your champion, I think that's the key to, not just women, but particularly for women as they're trying to strive in business and trying to move up the career ladder. If you just have somebody in your life that you could talk to about anything, someone who you can share your fears and your hopes and your dreams with, and someone that's going to guide you, when you kind of lose your focus or your direction. You got somebody that's going to be real honest and just say, hey, I thought this is what you wanted to accomplish, and here's the things that, in my opinion, knowing who you are, that you need to be doing if you want to be that person that you say you want to be.
Be confident on your values and your beliefs. And I struggled with a learning disability, and don't always overcome the obstacles in your way, because if you believe in yourself, you'll get where you want to be.
Never stop learning. Always ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And when faced with the challenge, take our fabulous high heels, dig them in, and just remind yourself that you've got this.
Always be honest. So to never be afraid to admit if you don't know something, because I've seen so many professional individuals who have just failed because they've pretended to know something and they're not willing to actually either ask for help or be honest about what you know and what you don't know.
The best advice I ever got, which I continue to give, was from reading Sheryl Sandberg's book, Lean In. And she said to think of your career path as a jungle gym and not as a ladder. As a ladder, you go up, down, or you get off. But if you think of it as a jungle gym, you may allow yourself the opportunity and take the risk to seize the moments or the positions or the jobs where you can have professional growth and personal growth. So sometimes I think women are marginalized in the workforce, and this is, to think of it as a jungle gym allows you much more opportunity.
Find another woman you have a shared interest with and ask them to lunch. Even if it feels awkward or silly at first, I have lunch with somebody who is in leadership in another family business, and we talk all the time about how to manage personal family relationships in a business setting, and I leave lunch every time with a new lesson that we each take back to our organizations.
Life doesn't always go as planned, and the path that you think you're going to go on or that you have planned, from when you were young, doesn't always work out the way. There's going to be road bumps along the way.
I would say surround yourself professionally with the smartest people that you know. Something I always tell my friends is I want to be the dumbest person in the room, because that's how you're going to be successful, is surround yourself by very smart people. Be your authentic self. God made each of us with these dynamic traits. Utilize those. There's a reason you have these talents. They're to help make the world a better place.
Embrace change, because it's going to happen. You want to know that you're going to make mistakes, but make sure you learn from them. Surround yourself with a good team, and the biggest thing I do that might be a little OCD related is I try to do the best in everything that I can. So whether that's even an email that you're shooting out or making a cupcake, that's a representation of yourself. So just make sure you do the best.
Never be afraid of failure. It's always a good thing to take a risk. A lot of times out of a risk comes reward, and you learn a lot of lessons about yourself. I would also say do what you know is right in your heart, and that usually works out well.
I'd like to thank Talia Hegler for doing that work for us. Well, we've come to the moment that you've all been waiting for, and it's my honor and privilege to announce our 2018 ATHENA Award recipient. Our 2018 ATHENA Award recipient has been very driven throughout her career and works extremely hard to help those in our community and beyond prepare for their own careers and futures in the same field. With more than 30 years of experience in and dedication to medicine, she is training the next generation of health professionals to pursue discovery and provide high-quality care in an ever-changing healthcare landscape. Dr. Elizabeth Young is the Vice President for Health Affairs and Dean of the College of Medicine at Northeast Ohio Medical University. Dr. Young is the Professor of Internal Medicine and the first NeoMed alum to serve as Dean of the College. She's trained in internal medicine and rheumatology, as well as hospice and palliative care. She's held many positions during her time at NeoMed and served as Associate Medical Director at Mercy Health. The Poland resident and mother of four sits on several NeoMed committees, including the University President's Leadership Team, Council of Academic Leadership, and Council of Deans, and has been the recipient of numerous awards. You'll continue to read more about her, but please join me in again congratulating Dr. Elizabeth Young.
So, thank you. I am overwhelmed beyond belief. And I think the most important thing I could do would be to start by congratulating and acknowledging my fellow nominees. What an amazing group of women I've had the privilege of being with as part of this. I, along with the other 20 women being recognized this evening, and all the amazing women who have come before us, strive not just for professional excellence, but also to be mentors and advisors and friends to those that follow us. We were told at orientation to be prepared to say a few words. And Pat, you never think you're going to need that cheat sheet. I assure you I didn't think that I would need a cheat sheet. But I've been thinking a lot about my purpose, my impact, and yes, my contribution to the training and molding of young physicians as we at Northeast Ohio Medical University celebrate the many accomplishments of our senior class as they prepare for their commencement on Saturday. Carl Jung, the great Swiss psychiatrist, said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." I believe that no one of us is defined by a title, but rather by the sum total of every aspect of our lives. Professional, wife, mother, daughter, friend, teacher, colleague, team member. We're all searching for clarity and meaning in an increasingly confusing world. But we share a humanness and the power and privilege of the relationships we nurture and grow. Someday, upon reflection of the privilege of my life, I can only pray that the words caring, honest, imperfect, faithful, loving, and blessed are among those used. I'm so grateful and thankful to my husband, Tom Boniface, who takes care of patients in this community. I am grateful to 4 children who inspire me, to parents who've always been there for me, to dear friends, to dear colleagues, to a team of people at NeoMed that I am privileged every day to come to be with. I'm so thankful to the Chamber for this opportunity and for the opportunity for women to come together and lead and to mentor each other and to show the world that we can have it all. We just have to juggle a lot of things, and it isn't always going to be perfect. I thank you for this honor. I'm humbled and overwhelmed. Thank you.
Do you want to leave this up here for pictures, or would you like to carry this back to your seat? I'll take it back to your seat. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Holy cow. I'm amazed, blown away. Get a big round of applause for all the women here tonight. There are a few things I heard on the videos and as some of the women came up to speak tonight. One of them was inclusion is a choice. Something it took me many years to learn. So I said, I don't have any of those biases. Those don't exist. I have 3 sisters. I have 3 daughters. That's not me. And I realized I was part of the problem because I didn't recognize my own biases and how that is. I heard someone say women are marginalized. Choices put aside into these different spaces. We just saw here today the amazing amount of strength, resiliency, talent, and it's not just women. This is talent in our community. Someday, we won't have to have an Athena to recognize the strong women, the professionals that are here in our community. We'll just recognize the strong people in our community. Someday, we'll get there. So the Chamber is proud to have been a partner here, vindicator, a partner, and we look forward to representing all of the strong women, our strong community, and all of you as we move forward. Thank you all for coming out tonight, and please get out and shake hands and say thank you to all the women, past, present, and future, that are here today. Thank you.